welcome to the next episode on Love and Waves. I geeked out on you guys on the last few videos, and I actually almost did not post that last one because I was like, okay, a little abstract, a little out there, but I tried not to judge myself. It's just how I am. So I thought I would just come on here today and try to clarify a little bit and try to make a little more sense and ground a little bit more from that abstract view, and try to make this seem, well, it's, a lot of you got it. So just wanted to bring it back down to earth here and into this 3D realm. And why is it useful? Why is it even important? So just to remind you, if you hadn't watched that last episode, you might want to check it out. It was interesting. The last few were, and they were all commentaries on kind of why I was asking the questions with that interview that I had just done with Sarah Alcalde, the alchemist. And, she's has the same personality type as me. And so we kind of go out there and geek out on those concepts. And I realize it really is important to understand things and to synthesize things in a certain way. And everybody's totally unique and different with that. And so that's why I'm just doing this, because this is how it's coming together for me. And I thought, well, why not put it out there and see if it comes together for other people as well? Because once you start to grasp how much power you have and how disempowered we have become, and this time that we're in right now that is so opportune, like we came here to honestly, to really, really ascend. And ascension is the upgrading of the nervous system. We're moving into lighter and lighter physicality and more into light. And all of these denser things, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, what have you, are really ready to be transformed and let go. It's kind of like when you plant you plant a seed and you put it in the soil and the dirt comes up first, not the sprout. So in a sense, it's like, okay, a lot of us, the dirt's coming up and there's all sorts of symptoms and illnesses in the body and distortions in the body, and people don't understand, their relationships are going wonky. There's just so much that's I use the word distorted because it's literally, it's not true. It's things that have been judged and believed to be, or controlled or manipulated or what have you. It's all not in the natural order. And these distortions create all this chaos. And so now we're in this time that it's like the sprout's coming up and the dirt is coming up with it. We see it collectively and we see it within our own lives. Okay, again, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually as well. So I've been in acute spiritual awakening, and this is the reason why I really talk about this a lot on this channel, but a lot of people are not. And so to recognize that the discord in your life is actually a symptom of your soul trying to wake you up to the distortions that are in your own soul stream and in your own expression right now that are ready to go. And your higher self is calling you into the life you've always wanted. And so what I shared in that last video was around just this kind of model that keeps coming in my mind around coming into a balance. And I don't know if this is true or not. This is what seems true to me right now. It's just helped me to kind of synthesize this information. But certainly it is based on some things that I've seen, and it made sense to me. So in looking at our life now, I've brought these up and I'm going to continue to, but that scale of consciousness here, what's happening is on these lower levels down here, we're really in our animal nature. And so our masculine feminine imbalances, the emotion and the emotional mental, are like high emotionality. And on the mental side, or the masculine side, it's like control and manipulation, and so we've got like this highly dysregulated feminine emotional energy and this highly dysregulated masculine mental energy, and they keep us in these lower scales of anger and fear and despair and pride and so many other flavors that are paradigms that we get stuck in, that create dis-ease as well, not only in our body but in our mind and in our spirit. And so when a kundalini awakening, for instance, activates, it will light up at the base here at your root chakra and start burning through, and rising, bringing all of these things up to be cleared. And so that would be more of an acute spiritual awakening. But if you have trouble in your relationships and in your body and so on, you might look at some of these things and recognize that we're just living in a paradigm and we're seeing things based on core beliefs that are false, on limiting beliefs, on programs, of course, all the negative programming, and also the things that we came here with, right? These ancestral wounds and things like that, that we need to alchemize here now. And we came here to do that. And so when we hit this level of courage, we move out of this animal nature and into the spiritualized. So this is when the Kundalini naturally awakens, is right around courage. It starts to wake up naturally and you start to feel that. It's not the spontaneous awakening that might happen and light all this on fire, but certainly around the courage level, you'll start to have the etheric brain come online and the spiritualized part of you where you can now start to pull more from soul. And that's what's going to pull you into these higher dimensions and where we're really aiming to get to that fifth dimension. And so I had to bring that back up again in case you didn't see the last video. But if you can imagine this triangle as being that, the third dimension being these lower animal areas down here. Sorry about the glare, as always. And then as we get part way up, as we're collapsing this, now we're starting to work more with the spiritualized energy. And as this is distorted coming down, this is born and is also the opposite up above, which is like your higher self. And so this is calling you. This is all the parallel realities, everything that you have desired here, like everything that you've created and so on here is finished and completed here. So it's like the wholeness is all of this. This is all you. This is just the spiritual side of you, and this is the physical side of you. And this is working through time and space. And so timelines, when you hear about timelines and collapsing timelines, it's bringing this, the thing that you're wanting to create, the better relationship, the better health, the healing, the financial abundance, whatever it is. When you're down here, you're feeling the lack of those things or whatever other distortions around those things. And while you feel the lack of it here, the fulfillment of it is here. And so it's always works that way. So as this is in reality, this is in spiritual, in its opposite, like it's complete there. These are your parallel realities. So to collapse the timeline is to recognize that all of this is being held for you in the fifth dimension, which is just no time and space, no preferences, and there's no judgments here. There's everything, it just is. It's just purely is. And so this is the observer level that holds everything that's happening here and everything that's happening here, all complete, done, accomplished. This is where you are accomplished. So when you can tune into the frequency of it's already accomplished, because it's already been being created here and being captured here. This is our goal, is to come into a vibrational match frequency of being accomplished and understanding if I want it, it's already done. And so collapsing a timeline would be to be able to remove any distortion and pick the fastest line to seeing it and knowing and feeling the frequency of it being done. It's already accomplished. And then it collapses both, right? The holding what it is in that parallel reality and what your current reality is. They just go whoop, and the timeline gets shorter. But if you're way down here, it takes a lot more distance in that timeline to get all the way up here where it's accomplished, you see? So you have to move up the scale to shorten the distance of the timeline. And as you come all the way up into that love frequency, now you've collapsed time and space, and then your manifestations are just done. It's so cool. But the other thing I really wanted you to get is that this spiritual aspect of you is highly magnetic. It is your divine counterpart, your spiritual counterpart to you. And so if this is your divine spiritual counterpart to you, it's calling you forth into your wholeness all the time. And that's why you're seeking. But the thing is that we seek outside of ourselves. We seek into matter. We seek into other people, things, situations, and so on. So how do we work with this? I'm going to go into this in the very next video, because everything that's around you and outside of you is actually there for you to collapse that timeline. So all of the things, the people and the situations are carrying with them an aspect that has been pushed out of your own reality, right? Your current state in that, those lower states or whatever that paradigm is, the things that keep you in that paradigm, those beliefs that are faulty, the limiting beliefs, the core beliefs, the stuck emotions that haven't been processed, the traumas, the identities that are all showing up, the guilt, all of those emotions, those feelings, those things have been pushed out of you. You've denied them, you've projected them, you've repressed them, you haven't reintegrated them yet. And as you reintegrate them, you move up that scale. So I'm going to talk about how to reintegrate them and how to be looking for that in the very next video. It'll come out probably in a couple of days, but I wanted to kind of reframe this a little bit, hopefully bring it a little bit more to life and give you a little bit more of the why. Because again, you may not be in an active spiritual awakening, but if you have any symptoms of dis-ease and you're feeling still unsatisfied in your life, then you can work on this. You can be proactive about this. And that's what I'm all about. And that's why I do what I do. So, of course, if you're interested in learning about getting some assistance in dismantling some of these distortions, it is what I love to do. And the information is down below in the description box, so you can learn about that. So stay tuned. Next one, I'm going to go right into it. I'm not even going to change my clothes. I'm going to start talking about, I'm just going to continue this conversation. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for being here.